Okay, hi, sorry. I forgot my water. I filled it up and then left it on my desk. Okay, so who's here? Hi, I see Carrie's here, Blazing Star. Let's see who else. Jessica, Mrs. Bowser. Hi. Okay, so hi Sheridan. So I'm gonna start by just introducing myself because some of you guys don't actually know me. Hello. So I thought that I would just kind of talk about who I am and why I started selling LuLaRoe. I am a LuLaRoe Consultant. My name is Megan Soames. I live on Whidbey Island in Washington. We're out in the water west of Seattle. And I have a wonderful husband. I have 5 kids. We have 1 dog who's sleeping next to me. I've lived in Washington for 5 years, but I'm originally from San Diego area. And yeah, so I have 5 kids and I have a hardworking husband, but I have a friend, her name is Hannah, and she started selling LuLaRoe clothes. Hello, Lorna. She started selling LuLaRoe clothes and had an online pop-up, and I watched it and I was really interested. It sounded super fun, and so I hosted a private pop-up for her and got my clothes and was just so in love with these clothes. And I told my husband, I said, I have to buy more. You have to find more money for me to buy more. And he said, well, we can't just do that. We can't just make money come out of nowhere. So anyway, so I bought a few more things, and Hannah had a Q&A and answered a bunch of my questions. And I thought, you know, maybe it's time for me to start selling LuLaRoe. It's a great way for me to contribute to our finances. And I just thought, let's try this. Let's take this leap. And I put it to my husband and he was like, yeah, let's go. And I thought for sure he was going to say, you know, no, because I've never done anything like this. I've never worked or done anything since I've been married. I did work retail. I worked for Nordstrom and I worked for the Gap. No, not the Gap. Yes, the Gap. Sorry. I worked for the Gap. That was a short time. That's why, brief memory. But so I love selling clothes. I love helping women feel happy. I love the look on their face when they find something that they love. And I thought that that would be fun. And it's turned out to be way, way exciting, way fun. I love it more than I thought I would. I've been more successful than I thought I would be. And it's awesome. So I wanted to answer any questions that you guys have. I know sometimes it's hard to talk to somebody in this kind of a job. Hi! In this kind of a job, because you feel like if you reach out to them and you say, hey, I'm interested, then they're going to bombard you with all this information and they're going to say, do you want to join? Do you want to join? Do you want to join? And you know, that's not what people enjoy having happen to them. So I thought this was a really good way to kind of give people who are on the fence or who are wondering an opportunity to ask questions and learn more without committing. And, and the best part about LuLaRoe is that it's not like that. We don't push people to make teams. We don't push people to get a downline or to sponsor people. Really, it's just fun. I actually, when I first signed up, I said, I am not going to be a sponsor. I'm not going to have a team. I don't want to have a downline. That's not something I'm interested in. I don't want to push people into something that they're not comfortable with. And I've actually had a lot of people just come to me and ask questions, and the more they learn about it, the more they get excited about it. And so they wanted to start joining my team. And so my team's been growing because of that. And it's just been really fun to help these people join. So that was why I thought it would be fun to kind of do this. So let's get started on questions. I'm going to read a couple questions here, but if you guys have questions that you want to ask, just feel free to jump in and throw them on. And I'll try to get to them. So let me start with one of the first questions that let's see, here we go. First question, what is the startup cost? So what I'm going to do here is, I meant to do this before, but I forgot. I'm going to open all the packages. So when I started, LuLaRoe did not have packages for sign up. They just had, you choose one thing from the skirts column, one thing from the shirts column, one thing from the dresses column, and then you pick one extra, and then you also get leggings. And you get, if you order 300, you get some free pieces. But they've changed it now. Now they're doing packages. So There are 3 packages. The minimum startup is $4,812, which we'll get to this later, but that sounds like a ton of money, and it is a ton of money. But we'll talk about how easy it is to group that back. So then, and the most expensive package is $69.54. And the nice thing about these packages is you don't have to do the thinking. You don't have to figure out, well, what items do I want? You just pick a package, and then the bigger the package, the more free pieces you earn. So the smaller package, which is $4,800, you get 336 pieces of clothing, and then you also get 30 free items. And then the next package up, you get 40 free items. Next package up, you get 50 free items. Oh, we have a question. How hard is it to sell and continue to sell the products? Is it difficult to sell and make money? Okay, Jessica, I'll get to that in just a minute. So how hard is it to sell and continue to sell? Can you still do the custom ones? No. Right now, they are saying that you need to do the packages, but you can ask, is what I've heard. So if you really are not interested in a package, then you can say, I'm really not interested. Is there something we can do to switch that? But I don't know what the answer to that question will be. The reason that they have these onboarding packages right now is because LuLaRoe has literally doubled in the last 2 months, and they're just doing so well and so awesome, and it's great for all of us. But the downside to that is that there is a lot of stuff going out of the warehouse, and so if they do it through the packages, then they can pre-pack them, they can get them all ready and ready to go, and it's so much faster, so that when you onboard, they can just ship your package out right away, and you don't have to wait for them to go and assemble it. Does LuLaRoe select the items, or do you for the packages? So for the packages, I'm going to see if you guys can see this. I can upload it in my group too, but yeah, you're not going to be able to see that very well. Okay, so for the packages, let me just give you an example. Package number 1, that you get the Cassie, the Lindsay, the Classic, the Julia, one size leggings, tall and curvy leggings, and then you can pick from the Cassie, Azure, Madison, Perfect Tee, Lindsay, or Monroe for your free pieces. So you don't choose which styles, and they send you a good variety of sizes and a good variety of prints, and then so you're not actually choosing which styles you want. But it is really nice. And then, you know, if you still want something else that's not in the package, yes, no more custom packages. If you do want something else, I highly recommend that you just order right after. As soon as you make your onboard order, you just go back, you go into Audrey, which is our system, and then you just place another order, and you can get whatever it is that you're wanting. It's actually really a good thing, recovering baker. It's actually a good thing, these packages, because they get your stuff out to you a lot faster, and it's helping to speed up the onboarding process. So we're really excited about these packages. And you get the old way, you only got 25 free items. This way you can get 30 free, 40 free, or 50 free, depending on which package you do. So it's actually a really cool thing. If you want this, that graphic that I just showed you, send me a message after this, and I will send them out to you. Okay, so let me move on. So that's the onboarding packages, and they are just fantastic. So you choose one of those. Now let me go back to my questions. Jessica, ask me your question once again. I think you said, how hard is it to get your money back? And that's probably the most common question that is asked. So I will talk about that. So when I first started, I'm gonna drink, hold on. Okay, sorry. I get a dry mouth when I talk a lot. When I first started, they said, wait 4 to 6 weeks. That's about how long it takes for you to earn your money back. So that was my goal, was 4 to 6 months. 4 to 6 months is when you can start, you know, you've usually paid off your investment by then. So I thought, you know, 4 months. I was like, okay, I can, and which way did you fund it? Okay, I'll talk about that. That's a good question too. We'll talk about funding. So I thought, well, let me do this, and in 4 to 6 months, then I'll have my money back. Let me just tell you, I'm going to be flat out honest with you guys. I'm going to tell you what I put into this, and I'm going to tell you what I got back, because I feel like transparency is the best way to answer these kind of questions. So when I onboarded, I didn't do a package, but I ordered, you know, from the different groups of items, and I got Amelia's, Maxie's, Cassie's, Irma's, and leggings. And then for my free item, I got Randy's, and then I went back on and ordered more Randy's, because you only got 25 free, and so I wanted to have more than 25. So my first onboarding, it was just shy of 6,000. It was like, I want to say it was like 5,900. So I put about 6,000 in, and what I did was I split it up between 2 credit cards. My husband had one and I had one, and so we split it in half between the two. I didn't want to max out either of them, and so we split it in half between our 2 credit cards. And because they're rewards cards. That's the other thing. I really wanted to do that. Yeah, you can split it up however you want. You can say, I want $1,000 from this bank account, and I want $4,000 from this credit card and another $1,000 from this credit card. You can do it however you want. So that's what we did. We split it up between two. Do the packages come with other materials as well? Like, yeah, you get a startup kit that has a lot of good stuff in there, especially if you want to do in-home boutiques and pop-ups. So you get a lot of other materials. It's not just clothes. A lot of people are funding from tax returns right now. That's a really good point, Jasmine. Thank you. This is a great time because tax returns are coming and it's so exciting. And this is a really great way because then you don't have to pay it back. You don't earn it. You don't have to pay interest on anything. You can just take that money out. Best return ever. Yes. And then just go buy clothes. What girl doesn't want to do that? You just spend all your money on clothes. And then you have a Lula room that you can go shopping in every day. Okay. And I'll talk about startup costs too. That's a really good question. So I want to get back to, so I did 6,000. So then my first pop-up, I sold total sales and everything. I sold $4,100. So I got back $4,100 into my bank account 3 days later. That's amazing. I spent 6,000 and my first pop-up, I sold 126 items, I think. I know, it was amazing. I was totally shocked that I did not expect to do that well. That was like the biggest blessing, on Facebook, that I did not do that at an in-home pop-up. I'm pretty sure I could not have done that well. I don't think I could have fit that many people in my house. But it was the best. It was so, so great. And I owe all of this success. This is not all on me. All of my success, I can say, my sponsors, I had like 375 items, I think. It was about 375 that I started with. But I just followed what my sponsor told me to do. I did everything that she told me to do, the way that she told me to do it. It wasn't really on me. I didn't really, there's a little bit of my personality that maybe I put into the page, but I don't think that's why I did so well. I think because I did everything that my sponsor told me to do. So that was my first pop-up. My next pop-up, I didn't have new inventory. I swapped a few duplicates with another local consultant just so that I have like a little bit of fresh stuff, but it was mainly just the stuff from my initial order. $2,000 I did that week. So in 2 weeks, I got paid in my bank account the same amount of money that I put in to buying my clothes. So literally in 2 weeks, I earned back my investment. I know that isn't true for everybody. I have talked to lots of other people, even on my team, that, for whatever reason, maybe that night it just wasn't as busy or, there's so many factors that go into it. But I will say even the people on my team, I can't speak for outside my team because I don't, some people run things a little differently, but the people in my team, they have all gotten it back within about a month, about 4 to 6 weeks. And remember I said 4 to 6 months was the goal, 4 to 6 weeks. When you started, did you already have a network, a bunch of people who would already buy? Not really. So I'm going to talk to you about how I built my Facebook group, but I want to get back to the other question, which was what other materials did I buy? So I bought, it was probably about $1,000 in other stuff. And some of that stuff was not necessary. Some of this stuff you didn't reinvest. I did reinvest, and I'll talk to you about that. Some of the other stuff that I bought was not, I'll show you. I bought a Chromebook because I wanted to be able to take my computer into my Lula room and be able to do stuff while I was in there. So some of that is in there. And actually, if you want to get a cute little laptop that doesn't cost a lot of money, Chromebooks are a great, great thing. You can do it on an iPad too. That was what worked best for me. So part of that was in there, but I bought clothing racks from Bed Bath & Beyond with a coupon. I bought hangers from Costco and hangers from shippingwarehouse.com. I bought little size signs. I bought some bookshelves to put, they're like cubby shoe holder bookshelves to put the leggings in. I bought some tissue paper so I could wrap stuff in. I bought a few extras like hair ties and unicorn poop candy, which people seem to love. I'm just trying to think anything else that I bought. Oh, and the magazine holders that you get from IKEA to pull orders and put into those. And if you do end up signing up and you join my team, I don't know about other teams, but if you do end up signing up on our team, all of this information is in our Facebook group. So like I said, I just followed what my sponsor told me to do. That's what's in our group. It says, buy this from this place, buy this from this place. And I was like, I'm a better bargain shopper. I can probably find better things elsewhere. No, they've already done the work for me. I looked everywhere and I couldn't find better prices. So we've got all of that already ready for you. Just go buy what's on the list. So about 6,000 investment, about 1,000 more in supplies, and I paid it off. Yeah, and if you're a LuLaRoe consultant on here, feel free to chime in. This is not all about me. This is awesome for you guys to come and help too. But so I did about 7,000. And so my first pop-up, I made 4,000. My second with no new inventory, I made 2,000. My third with still no new inventory because the company was growing, had a little growing pains, and I didn't get any new inventory yet, 1,000. So first 3 weeks was 7,000, made all my investment back. Now, somebody asked the question about reinvesting. I did put 100% of that back into buying new product. So that is something that we recommend for about the first 30 days at least. You just reinvest and put all that back in product. So I technically have not paid myself back yet. And I'm not going to until I have my goal, and it's a personal goal. It's not a team goal or anything. My personal goal is I want to have 1,000 pieces of inventory before I start paying myself back. And I don't, to be honest, I don't know what I'm at because I just had a pop-up. So I don't know how close I am to that. But every time I get new money in my bank account, I started in January. So what are we, 2 months later, but really a month of pop-ups. So I did want to tell you one more thing before we move on. So those were my first 3 weeks. I got new product and I had a pop-up again and I had 4,500 in sales. So I did even better than my first month. So it wasn't just like a, woohoo, Megan's starting up, let's all go buy stuff from her. It wasn't like people were trying to be supportive. It was just that when I got new stuff, hi Christy, when I got new stuff, I made more money. So the more inventory you have, obviously, you know, the more money you're going to make if you have more inventory, but exponentially more. Because if you think about it, if you walk into a cute little boutique and they've got, you know, 4 different styles of clothes and maybe like 3 or 4 in each size on the rack, you're going to kind of browse a little bit and then you're going to move on. But if you walk into a store and it's got racks and racks of hundreds of items and multiple in your size and multiple prints and all the different sizes, you're going to stay and browse and you're going to find stuff that you like. So the more inventory you have, the more you're going to sell to more people. So that's why we suggest reinvesting for your first while. There was one other question. Yeah, I can't, was there something else that I was going to come back to? I think there was one other thing. Ask me again if there was something else that I said that I was going to come back to that, because I feel like there was a really good question that I forgot already. Okay, so I'm going to just read from my questions here unless somebody throws in a question there. So I did, what's the startup cost? Oh, how many hours do you work each week? That's a good one. So I've said this before on some Periscopes, and I know I've heard other people say it too. If you want a hobby business, if you want this just to be something on the side that you just spend a little bit of time on, a few hours a day, maybe, 10 hours a week, then you'll get hobby money. You'll get a little bit of money. If you want to earn a full-time salary, kind of a paycheck, then you work full-time. So in the beginning, your first week, no matter how much money you want or not, you're going to work a lot, because your first week, you're just trying to understand everything. You're trying to figure it out. You're setting stuff up. You're just doing a lot of work that first week. So the first week, I don't even want to guess on how many hours I worked that week. It was too many. But it was fine. There was a lot of other stuff we threw in there because we were remodeling, and so it was just busy. But I would say for me personally, to make the money that I'm making, and this is cutting out, social Facebook time or time where I'm just like following some of the pages and stuff. But I would say I probably work about 20 solid hours a week where I am photographing things, where I am on my Facebook group and I'm, answering questions for my pop-up, or I'm uploading, or I'm invoicing or shipping. I would say it's like 20 good solid hours. And then outside of that, it's really how much you want to put into it. Right now, I've been spending a lot of time answering people's questions, which is why I wanted to do this Q&A, because I've had my team's grown and I've been wanting to really help them understand what their next steps are and what they need to do. So I have been putting more time in because of that. But I would say that okay, that's a great question. The easy answer to your question, what do you do with the crap stuff that won't sell? Everything sells. If you think about, hi Stacy Lynn, if you think about how many different people there are in this world, and how many times you're out in a big public place and there are people wearing stuff that you think is hideous, or you think is weird, or you just think is off the wall bizarre, that LuLaRoe caters to every person. So there is somebody out there that is going to love that thing that you think is the worst thing in the world. So that's the easy answer, is everything sells. Now, in order to sell that stuff that is not selling, there are a lot of really little technique things that you can do. One really easy one that's probably works the best out of anything else is You put it on, you take a picture of yourself, you style it, you make it look fun, and people will want it. I have this really, and if anybody local is here, you're gonna know what I'm talking about. Carrie, you'll know what I'm talking about. I didn't see who else was on here, but I have this one skirt that when we opened my initial order, we were like, I am never gonna be able to sell this. This is so awful. And one of my friends said, oh, I bet this other friend that we have, she would wear it. And you know what? She would look really good. So sure enough, she saw my online pop-up. She was looking through the skirts and she was like, oh my goodness, I love this skirt. It's so cute. And her friend was right there and was like, I knew you'd like that one. So she came over and she put it on and I went, oh my gosh, it is so cute. It looked so good on her. So I actually need to have her come back over so I can take a picture of her in it. But that is the best way. There's lots of other little ways that you can sell things. But just taking a picture of yourself in it or somebody else in it and styling it, maybe with a belt or with a different pair of leggings with it or a different skirt with it or, whatever it is, just styling it. And there was another shirt that I had that I was like, it's not ugly, but it's not my favorite. And I had a girlfriend put it on and put a belt on it. And I was like, oh, I want that skirt because it looked so cute. So that's one way. But really, I honestly don't know of a single person that has had to sell clothes back to the company. So that's another question that I can answer is if you do join LuLaRoe and you just, for whatever reason, you are either not successful or maybe you get pregnant and have a baby, you don't have time, or for whatever reason, you cannot do this. There's a couple options. The very last resort of which is you can sell everything back to the company at a 15% loss. But there are other consultants that will take your clothes. If you say, I just, for whatever reason, it's not working for me, you can post on one of the groups. You can say, I have to get rid of these clothes. I need to get out of the business, and people will buy them from you at cost. You won't be able to sell them and make a profit, but you can at least recoup your money. So I literally don't know a single person who sold back to the company. I've never heard of that happening. And really, I think I only know of one person who stopped selling, and that's just because she wanted to spend more time with her family. She had a new baby and it just wasn't a good time for her. So, but yeah, so if you're just not having a good, successful time, then there are some options for you. I don't know of it happening, but you can get out if you need to. Somebody said, do you enjoy it? I love this. I didn't feel like I was lacking anything before I started selling, but now that I'm doing this, I feel happy. I feel fulfilled. I have, I was going to say I have purpose, but that makes me feel bad because I do have purpose. I have 5 children and a great husband. So, I have purpose in life, but I feel like I can do something more now, and it feels really good to be doing that. So I do enjoy this. How do you prepare while you wait? That is a good question too. So like I said, we have all of those lists, and there are so many things that you're going to want to get to work on. I had about, I think, 2 weeks where from the time that maybe it was about 3 weeks from the time that I decided to join till when I got my inventory. So I was so rushed because I had to kick my daughter out of her room, move her into the other girls' room, switch the girls' rooms and the boys' rooms, make a new bed, paint some things. I had so much to do. I wish I had the time that you guys have now. And that brings up another question that I want to answer in a minute. But so what do you do in the time that you're waiting? You buy stuff. You get your clothing racks. You make your photo wall. You just set everything up. You can set up your group. You don't invite anybody to it yet, but you can set your group up. There's a lot to do. So that was the other thing I want to talk about. So because LuLaRoe is growing so fast, exponentially, it's so great. It's good for everybody. There is about what they say about a 4 to 6 week wait. I think it's actually going to I bet next week they're going to tell us it's a bit longer because people are still onboarding and joining. But right now, they're onboarding only 50 new consultants a day. In the past, it was, they would just do as many as they could get through in a day. But then that made it so that they didn't have enough clothes in the warehouse. And so now they're doing 50 consultants a day. And let me see, I can actually check for you what the queue is at right now. I can tell you how many people are in the queue. Just a sec, let me load this. Okay, so as of right now, there are... That is not what I want to know. Oh, there's a question. Are you worried about having less sales because there are more consultants? So that brings up a good point. And actually, a lot of people have asked that. Why can't I can't find what I wanted to find. So maybe it's in a different one. Oh, here it is. I opened the wrong one. Okay, so there are currently 2,555 applicants waiting in the queue, and they're only doing 50 a day. So you do the math, but it's going to be a while until they get to you. So actually what I recommend to people joining, this is not a sales pitch because you know me, I don't want to be pushy at all. But if you are considering joining, I highly recommend that you just fill out the paperwork, get it done now, because then you have over a month, maybe even 2 months before you actually have to commit. You don't have to pay anything. You don't have to do anything. You just get on the list for the phone call. Once you get the phone call, then you need to have the funds and be able to buy your new inventory. And you should get it in a week or two. So, but there's like a 2-month wait. So if you're considering it, now is a great time to just get in the queue. Okay, so what was that last question? I wish I could go back and see questions. It was, ask me again. I'm sorry, I forgot already. I get lost on these little tangents and I want to tell you new things. Oh, Haley, I hope so. Worried? Oh, yes, thank you. Okay, Lula Becky, thank you. So there is no competition. I know that sounds silly, but there's another local consultant who is going to be doing my open house with me next week. And I'm super excited to have her come. I'm not worried about the competition because every consultant has different items in their inventory. You don't carry the same things. So if I don't have something that someone wants and I see it in another one of my friends' groups, is there a way to see? Yeah, there's a map. If you go online, you know, I'll try to post that in my group. If you go online, there is a map that you can actually zero in and on where you are. But so if I don't have an item that somebody really wants and I see that one of my other consultants in my team has it, I will send you to them easily, because I know that you're going to come back. I'm not really worried about losing consultants that way. But there's an expression that people only have so much money. Yep, that is true too. So my sister-in-law just signed up to sell, and she's been talking to her friends. She lives up in Bellingham, and she's been talking to all her friends. None of them have heard of LuLaRoe. Not a single one. One. She has one friend. And this friend is really excited for her to start selling. But it feels like a big company. I mean, it really does. But last month there were only 5,000 consultants. 5,000, it's not a big number considering how many millions of people there are in this country. How many millions of women who want to buy clothes. So, I mean, it's really small. It feels big. And when you go on the groups and stuff, it is all about spreading the Lula love. So there's a common expression, rising, Mary Kay has 3 million. There you go. Thank you. I am so glad that you shared that with me because I didn't even know what other companies have. Mary Kay has 3 million consultants. We had 5,000 last month. There's a lot more Walmarts. There you go. It's a really small company. Joining now while it's in its infancy is like the very best time. Oh, and I started to say there's an expression called rising tides raise all ships. So when and I love that expression. I love the visual, and they all sell the same thing. You are so right. And they're pretty successful, right? But when our company, when I know another company, another consultant is doing really well, that makes me feel really happy because that makes me feel like they're getting the word out. More people are learning about it. More people are going to come and buy from me. And I am happy to share the Lula love. I am happy to have other people on other teams, even people not on my team. I am happy to have other people that are buying from LuLaRoe because I know that it is good for me. When the company gets bigger and more people branch out and more people are buying LuLaRoe clothes and they're getting seen by other people out on the street, people are complimenting them and they say, oh, it's LuLaRoe. That is fantastic for all of us. So right now, I think number one, there's no competition. Number two, more consultants is better for all of us. Number three, there's just so much variety and it's so much fun that this is a rising tide that I want to be on because I think it's going to be really awesome. Like I said, the company is still in its infancy. It's still growing and this is great. And at some point, yeah, it will slow down. It will peak and then it will slow down a little bit, but why not join it while it's rising, right? Why not be a part of this awesome thing while it's going? I am not going to answer that. We're just going to pretend that that's not ringing. Okay, you can ask me another question, but I am going to go on here and find some more questions. Okay, next question is, what does your workspace look like? Oh, I just had a pop-up. Otherwise, I would take you in there, but it's kind of a mess. So I have racks along all 3 walls. They're just the rolling racks. I have racks along all 3 walls. I have a bookshelf on the 4th wall and a closet that has a mirror. So the bookshelf has all of my, and I can take pictures of this after the fact, but I have a bookshelf. It's not a bookshelf. It's a shoe rack. It's 4 shoe racks that are together that holds all of my leggings. So right now I only need the 3 racks. I have a 4th that's waiting for I'll probably actually need it next week because I'm getting a huge order next week. It's like 300 pieces or something. So I will definitely need it next week. And then I have all my magazine holders. Those are what I put my pulled orders into. Those are in the closet. And then when I have a pop-up, I put them out on the ground all around the perimeter and I fill them up. Okay, next question. Best place to purchase business cards and where do you get the artwork? So there are a lot of ways to do this, especially because LuLaRoe is starting to grow. There's starting to be a few more ways, but I just prefer through the company. It's called LuLaRoeCustom.com. They have really great options. They look so professional. They look so pretty, and I love them. So I get them from LuLaRoeCustom.com. I get my little thank you care cards from there as well. But we have artwork in the files that you can just do and you can go print them on Vistaprint or something like that. There are some other companies now that because they're like, ooh, this is a good business opportunity. LuLaRoe is growing. So they've started to market to LuLaRoe Consultants as well. They make their own graphics and stuff. Mine came in only a few days too and they look so cute. That is the other thing. So LuLaRoe Custom does cost a pretty penny in shipping, but you get it right away. You get it in like 2 or 3 days. It's so fast. I think it's so worth it. And they just look so great. Next question. Do you find that you work more during normal work hours, like Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, or nights and weekends? That's a really good question. You know what? You work when's best for you. It's as simple as that. I prefer to work during the mornings when my kids are at school and during the evenings after they go to bed. Those are my bigger times that I enjoy. I do still have a 3-year-old at home, but she, runs around, dances and plays, climbs all over me. But those are the times when I prefer to. I don't do very well when I try to work in the afternoons because that's when the kids are coming home and it's homework time and dinner time, and that's not a good time for me. And weekends, I try not to work on Sundays. Saturdays, I try not to work too because we're usually out and doing sports or birthday parties or whatever. So I do work Monday through Friday. I work mostly evenings and mornings. That's what works for me, but you do what works for you and that will be what's best for you. Same thing with when you want to host your pop-up. I have a lot of people ask that. Which is the best night to have your pop-up? You know what? It's the night that's best for you because there's somebody else out there that's the night that's best for them. So don't worry about trying to do it on the night that is the best for the biggest group of people because then that might not be what's good for you. I find mine's on Thursday nights at 5 because that means Thursday night, my husband is home on Thursday nights, and so I know that he will be able to help with the kids, and then and he helps me with invoicing after the kids go to bed. And then Friday morning, I'm able to do all of my packing and shipping, and I usually get it out by 3 o'clock Friday afternoon. Then my kids come home from school, and I have the rest of the weekend. So for me, that's what works best for me, and it's great. And I think you just do what works best for you, and your group will, kind of conform to that. They'll say, oh, look, she has it on Tuesdays at 6. That's so great for me. It's just whatever works best for different people. Okay, next question. Please feel free to jump in. Okay, that's it for that list, but then I have more over here. Do you love your job? Do you feel overwhelmed? I actually really like that question. I love my job. I did feel really overwhelmed my first week. There's so much unknown. I sat down to ship and I almost started crying because I couldn't remember anything. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I have no idea what I'm supposed to be doing right now. And I called my sponsor and she walked me through it and I figured it out. But it was really overwhelming and it was really stressful. But my second pop-up, it was a breeze. I was like, what? This is so easy. I could do this every time. It was so good. So first one is hard. It's totally a rush. And then it's really fun. Okay. Do you guys have any more questions? I think I've gotten through everything. I'm just going to scan through this list. If you have any more questions, just send me a message on Facebook. Yeah, I think that's all the questions. So if you have more questions, let me know. And I promise I will not push you. I never push you. If you want to join, it's super. Ooh, anything you do different? That's a good question. You know what? There is one thing that I would do different. I stressed too much, and that was all on me. But your group is going to be patient. Your group is going to be forgiving. You're going to mess up. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to, you're going to do things wrong. And I just stressed about that so much that I wish I had just been like, you know what? It's going to happen how it's going to happen. If I mess up, I'm going to mess up and I did, all that stressing and worrying I did. The first 6 people I forgot to charge shipping, and I was like, oh, well, I guess you get free shipping. But, and yeah, there was a moment where none of my shipping labels matched the people who had orders pulled, and I was like, and then we realized that we were just doing, anyways, long story. But so the only thing I would do different is I would just try to go at my own pace and not try to speed up and not try to do things beyond my limit, beyond my level. So I just stressed, but really, no, I wouldn't do anything else different. I love this so much. It has been so fun. I am making more money than I've ever made in my entire life. It's fun. I really love doing it. It's so fun to help people feel good. It's so fun to, feel good myself. One more question. Okay. I'll wait for your question, but I'll kind of sum up before I answer your question that if you have any more questions, ask me. I've never done direct sales. Never. Nope. I have no experience with this at all. In fact, I chose not to ever do direct sales before because I thought, I don't want to push people to sell something that they don't want to buy. But I loved LuLaRoe clothes so much, I thought there are other women like me that love these clothes as much as I do. I won't have to sell them. I don't have to push people to buy them. I don't have to sell to people. They come to me. They're excited to buy from me. I don't have to push at all. So that was why I thought I can totally do this, because I feel like other direct sales companies, you have to be like, okay, you're going to want this and you're going to want this, and you're telling people what they want, and that is not the kind of job I want to do. I don't know what people want, I don't know what people want. I know what I like, but everybody else likes different things. So I like that people come to me and I'm able, when somebody walks out of I have my Lula room and they're wearing something that they love, I can see it. I can see they're like, oh, I feel really good in this. And then sometimes they come out and they're like, what do you think? And I'm like, nope. If you ask me what I think first thing out of the room, instead of saying I love it, then I don't think you love it. And I don't want you to get it because I don't want you to be unhappy. So that's the really nice thing about this, is that I don't feel pushy at all. And I'm able to just sell because people come to me. I have people come to me all the time. People join my group every single day. People are joining in my group. So, okay. So I'm going to end. My name's Megan Soames. I'm on Facebook. MEGANSOMES. Just find me. My group is called LuLaRoe Megan Soames VIPs. Feel free to message me, ask me questions. I promise I will never push you. I will give you the information you ask for, and I might follow up once just to say, did you get that? If I don't hear from you, but I'm not going to push you. I do in-home. I have my first open house is next week. I've never done in-home. I have had a lot of people come to my house just to say like, hey, can I try this thing on, or what, like a lot of local people, and I've sold to them, but I haven't had an actual pop-up in my home. So I will have that this Wednesday. So I could tell you after Wednesday what I think of it, but haven't done it yet. And I'm more just doing it. I'm actually not even planning on making a lot of money off of it. I'm just doing it because local people want to try stuff on. They want to know what it feels like. They want to know what sizes they wear, what styles they want to wear. So it's more just a chance for them to do that. If they want to buy something, great. I'm not going to, worry about sales that day. It's just about helping people figure out what sizes feel good on them. So, I'm done. That's it. Thank you. And you guys can, those of you that are going to rewatch, again, thank you for joining. Thank you for rewatching. Thanks for your questions. This was really fun. And